All right, let's get into this. This is my video game market report for February 12th, 2014, 2025. We are looking at about 10 games today. I got a bunch of random ones. The last one was the most random video game I think I've ever found, and some fun information about that. But these are all graded games by CGC. This time, I just wanted to look at whether these be CIB or sealed. I just want to see what the graded market is out there. And hope you guys all like and enjoy this video. Hit that like button, subscribe to all your friends, and let's get into it now. Cool. All right. First game I got, obviously, Final Fantasy VII 9.6. This CIB goes pretty hard. I mean, it probably is pretty hard to find a 9.6 CIB sealed. I don't even know what a 9.8 goes for. Obviously, this is my favorite game of all time, and I did not put the price for this, but February 2nd sale was very healthy in this market. It was about $800, which I thought was phenomenally high. I don't know if I'd pay that much for it because it's not sealed, but nonetheless, that's really healthy for a CIB game that was printed to nauseum. But I gotta imagine you can't find a lot of Final Fantasy VII open games with no scratches on it. It's probably just has a ton of scratches on it, or it's probably one of the few that has no scratches on it. Next up, Bully for the Wii. Remember this game came out, I think, on PlayStation 2. I can't remember, but I thought this was a fun one to look at. I could totally see this being a movie one day or a series. I never played the game, but the premise obviously is that there's this kid, he's bullied, and he goes to a private school, fights with teachers, fights with everybody. And I feel like there's a lot of controversy with this game as well because parents, teachers, whomever assumed, or maybe, I don't know, that this would lead to more violence in schools. So there's a lot of discontent about this game. But $199 for a 9.6 sealed for CGC this past week. Thought that was pretty strong for a really beloved game for the Wii. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 for Sega Game Gear sealed. There's 3 auctions of this from the same seller. 299 sold for $300, which I thought was extremely low or high, or sorry, low. 149 for a 9.6. So I guess if you are investing in this specific Game Gear Sonic the Hedgehog goodness, you want to get the 9.9 investable price though for 9.6 149. I think that's fair, but I thought it was kind of random. The 3 sales I saw this week, someone's just offloading these for whatever reason, and I think they got a good deal. Whoever ended up buying them. Keeping with the Sonic theme, Sonic Adventure for the Dreamcast. This 90 went for $499, which I felt was a really good deal. I feel like it's a steal just because Dreamcast, was a discontinued console. Sonic, it's sealed, and it's a 9.8, which if you don't know, the Dreamcast didn't really, typically I feel like these CDs are hard to get in 9.8 because they're super easy to break, and just like the Y-folds don't really hold very well from what I've seen. And I mean, this is like a 22-year-old video game, so it must be really hard to get 9.8 in it unless you if you've graded it years ago. But I don't think you did because that's impossible because CGC didn't grade until like almost a year from ago. So pretty cool stuff though. PlayStation 2 Champions of Norath. 9.6 sold for $149. I remember seeing this game as a kid, like in the stores, but I feel like it's pretty cheap for a PS2 game. But again, I never played this game. I remember seeing it. I don't know there's like a huge like following for this game in particular, but a 9.6 for a PS2 video game seems pretty cheap, especially if it's sealed. So I don't, as far as PS2, there's only certain games I would get CIB anyway, especially the horror games, but this is a fair price for a 9.6 for a PS2. Excuse me. And going back to CIBs, Grand Theft Auto and an 8.5 sold for $499. Now, this is the original Grand Theft Auto. This is the one where you kind of hovered over the car. It was not your third-person view shooter. It's actually kind of a hard game to play because you had to steer. The steering wasn't very good. And, I mean, essentially, you just stole cars and chopped them. That's all I remember from the game. But super fun. Never seen a sealed version of this before, but our friend Vinny, I know he's talked about this game before in the past, but 8.5 for CIB, I think that's pretty healthy for a beloved game. I just think these Grand Theft Auto games are just going to go up in price. It's the one franchise right now that I feel like is the most followed by every age group. So I don't think $4.99 is a bad idea for having this for long term. Gran Turismo number 4. In my opinion, this is the best Gran Turismo game of them all. 9.8 sold for $200. And I think this cover is pretty clean. It displays really nice. I mean, that white background is just awesome. And it just kind of speaks to like the whole genre of the game. But PS2, I think for $200, especially get Gran Turismo 4, that's a really great deal if you're holding long term. Obviously, the Gran Turismo game came out, or movie came out. I need to watch that movie, which added a little bit to the FOMO of this particular franchise. But nonetheless, I think this is a great game to have. Gran Turismo is a classic. It's one of the best racing games, if not the best ever. All right. I have one more after this, and do appreciate everyone's support with the show. We're actually going live, I think, tomorrow with something completely new. Got some old friends, some new friends coming on the show tomorrow. Hope you guys all check us out. 6 p.m. Pacific time. So check us out on YouTube. Mike Tyson's Punch-Out! CIB sold for $800. I think the grade on that was 7.0. So, I mean, this cover just speaks everything. This is one of the greatest games, if not greatest boxing game ever. I think everybody knows kind of the history of this game. Mike Tyson obviously being in pop culture, but I think this will hold, for a very long time. It's one of the first few games I think that when you see it, in a meme or whatever, you automatically know where it's from. And that's from kids that, didn't grow up with a Nintendo. But $800 for CIB of this is pretty strong. I think that's a pretty high number. And last but not least, my friend, Zombie Nation from the Nintendo. Never heard of this game before. It's got a really weird premise, something about like a floating zombie head. It's really weird, but nonetheless, a sealed version 9.0 sold for $2,000, which I think seems really low. I was looking at like loose just cartridges of this game, and they were going for 3 figures. So you got to imagine a sealed version, and even a 9.0. It's got to be a very segmented market that of really hardcore collectors that know the value and rarity of this game. Mashable, though, voted this the second weirdest game of all time. I don't know what year that list came out, but I thought that was really cool, interesting information to put out there. But there you have it. There's your video game market report for the week. We'll see you guys all tomorrow live with a brand new show, 6 o'clock Pacific time, 9 o'clock Eastern. You all have a great day. Hopefully I'll see you all tomorrow, and take care.